I absolutely believe that there is a connection and that they can be made. And I know that from teachers that I've worked with, from educators, teacher educators here in the Institute of Education. And sometimes it's just a case of, really thinking about it and, thinking about ways to tie it in, because as well, sometimes, the learning outcomes can become clear at the end for students. Let's say it's not, you don't need to go into your class and say, we're doing this and this is what you're learning. Do it, let them learn the things. And then, if you need to tie it together. But I think like with the Fighting Words model and with creative spaces allowing for that creativity, there are huge benefits in many ways, because it's critical thinking, it's developing literacy skills, and while that may not be the chief aim of the program, let's say, there are definitely benefits in that area. Creativity does have a value, and that it's not about just learning things off or repeating things, but being able to open people's minds to thoughts, ideas, is so valuable. Some of the really interesting part for me, maybe personally as well, has been that in some ways there's maybe been an assumption, or there may have been an assumption at the beginning, that because Fighting Words is focused on creative writing, that it fits in with English or drama or those kind of subject areas. But in fact, the engagement has been a lot wider than that. So, for example, we've worked with maths educators here in the Institute of Education on a wonderful project about maths and literacy and the importance of stories for young children, primary school children, who are learning maths, multiplication, things like that for the first time, and that bringing stories to them can really help with the development of the language they need to understand the maths concepts behind the sums they're seeing. And so working with student teachers here and teacher educators who specialise in the area of maths education, and we did some workshops with them and printed up some books for them. We've also worked with student teachers here and teacher educators who are specialising in early childhood education, and particularly the idea of drama and play in the programme for early years in school. It's a very big part of the ASHTR programme, so that was really fantastic. So we were able to kind of combine their drama skills with the Fighting Words I suppose method or model of creating characters, having the children come up with their own characters, their own creations, maybe rather than taking a pre-existing story and creating drama around that. So that was a really lovely, I think, combination of, bringing together of two approaches that worked really, really well. So we did a picture book workshop with some children from a local school. We've also worked with science educators here, and I know they're particularly interested in looking at how you can kind of bridge that, bringing creative writing into science education, and we did work on some science fiction stories, and kind of, I suppose, seeing that how there's science and there's certain things that you have to do to show an experiment works or how things work, but then you can play with the ideas as well.